Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Katherine and I proudly serve at City of Denver at Skinner Middle School. I serve in the 7th grade in a language arts classroom as well as a science classroom. So today I'm going to be talking about 3 different things. I'll be talking about remote service, basic training academy, and the transition to Denver. So let's talk about remote service first. I know that everyone has a lot of questions about it, which is totally valid and normal. It's a big thing right now. So City of Denver started remote service in mid-March due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We switched to starting to support more remote learning in early April after DPS decided that they would not be returning to in-person learning. So for me, I support in 7th grade, like I said, and I support students in a variety of ways, and I'll go through my day-to-day a little bit for you so you can kind of see what my life looks like. So every morning, first thing, I check my email. Students often will email me over the weekend if it's a Monday or late at night after I've stopped working, after school is over. So I check my email, I reply to anything that I need to. I can either answer quick questions over email, schedule a time to do a phone call, or kind of provide tutoring over email, so asking them questions. I can also review their work on Google Classroom if they ask me to. So after I check my email, I have a list of students that I need to call, and this list is either something that I make up myself, that I'm like, okay, I know these 4 students need a little more support, so I can call them. And my partner teacher also gives me a list of students to call. So I call them, I talk to their parent, guardian, or adult in their life first. I check in with their adult in their life and I make sure everything's doing okay. Are they having any technology or Wi-Fi issues? Is the student struggling with anything in particular? After that, I can talk to the student. So when I'm talking to the student, I tell them about their missing work, we come up with a plan, we can schedule a time for another phone call, or if the student is available then, I can tutor them over the phone then. My teacher uses Google Classroom, so I can see their work in real time and I can be on the same dock as them, so I can comment, leave questions, they can comment back, we can really work on their stuff together. So after I call the students, I can do a couple of things. Usually I will do 1 or 2 the Google Hangouts with students and another city or member on my team, where we can do not in person, but we can do video chatting tutoring. It's really great for the students because they like seeing our faces, I like seeing theirs. Usually this is only 1 or 2 students at a time max in a call. It's way easier to tutor that many students in a call rather than 5. I usually do that 1 a day about. It can be difficult to schedule a Google Hangout with a student because they are middle schoolers and they sometimes don't show up when they say they're going to show up. So that can be a little difficult, but it's definitely really rewarding. I also participate in online trainings or sessions that City of Denver puts on. So City of Denver does online trainings on extended learning time, which is after school programming and how to translate that to a virtual space. They also do trainings on diversity, equity, and inclusion. In addition to the trainings, we also do sessions. So we do alumni panels with city year members where they can talk about their experience entering the workforce, about their life after city year, how they translated their city year experience onto a resume, and things like that. We also do resume workshops with City of Denver, so somebody, either a staff member or someone from a company in Denver, will come on, talk to us about resumes or interviewing, stuff like that. It's really helpful and really nice. So that pretty much fills my day with remote learning. I will say that remote learning is definitely a new skill. It didn't come as quickly as maybe we thought it would, of how best to support students. It can be definitely hard to tutor over the phone when you're not physically with them, but it can be really rewarding. The kids love being able to talk to us, see our faces, and it's really great to hear and see their faces as well. So if you have any questions about remote learning or remote service, please reach out to me. You can reply to me on Slack or message me on Slack, or you can get my contact info from Brenna. There's a ton of stuff that goes into remote learning, and like I said, it's going to look different for every school and every grade level, but you can kind of expect to do very similar things. So now let's move into BTA, or Basic Training Academy. I'll be referring to it as BTA, which you'll commonly hear it referred to. So BTA is 2 weeks in July. During this time, you'll find out your service leader, you'll find out your school team, your IM, you'll meet the whole core. It's really fun, and it's a great time to meet people, get to know people outside of your school team. It's awesome. You'll also receive a lot of training on a lot of different topics. So I'm not going to cover all of the topics here. You can reach out to Brenna if you want to kind of get a more detailed view of the topics. I'll kind of go over them, and you can definitely leave questions below if you have any. So BTA, you get a lot of training on what City Year does in the classroom. So you get training on how to manage behavior, what different classroom management styles there are, how to adapt your behavior with your partner teacher's classroom management style. You also get a lot of training on how to provide effective intervention. So that can be reteaching a topic, teaching a topic, providing walkthroughs, how to ask probing questions and kind of help the student get to the answer. You'll also get training on what we call the ABCs. So the ABCs are attendance, behavior, and course performance. So the ABCs kind of guide what City Year does and how we kind of work in schools. So you'll get training on why that's important, how we use these 3 kind of areas, and how that fits into DPS's vision. DPS Denver Public Schools. In addition to learning about City Year, you will learn a lot about Denver. So you'll learn about Denver as a city, you'll learn about Denver Public Schools, you'll get kind of a overview of the demographics and what the DPS's vision is for the future and how City Year fits into that. You'll also, like I said, have the opportunity to meet all the core. It's really nice to be able to get to know everyone. You will, like I said, get your school team during BTA. However, I think it's really great that you have the opportunity to meet people either you don't live with or who won't be on your school team, get to develop those relationships and build community within your City Year. It's going to be pretty awesome. So now that we've talked about remote service and BTA, let's talk about Denver and transitioning to Denver. So you all should know by now that you will have an in-person registration date before BTA. So if you don't have this date yet, don't panic. It's coming to you soon, or you should already have it. So you have to be here in Denver for that date. It's an AmeriCorps regulation. You can't miss it. So I suggest when you are kind of planning your trip coming out to Denver, I would suggest arriving 1 to 2 weeks earlier. So I know for some of you, you probably already are planning on doing that, and great, that's awesome. The reason I say coming out 1 to 2 weeks earlier is, number one, with COVID-19, it gives you the opportunity to quarantine yourself. It also gives you the opportunity to kind of get settled in your new place, get to know Denver a little bit, allows you to unpack, get your house in order, get everything nice and set up before you begin your service. BTA is 2 weeks and it is 5 days a week, so you might want a little more time in the beginning to set up your furniture, get unpacked and everything. Also, coming to Denver 1 to 2 weeks early allows you to get used to the altitude. So Denver is 5,280 feet high. It's a mile-high city, and a lot of times people who are coming from out of state, especially if you're coming from sea level, the altitude can really, really affect you. So I came up with a couple tips and tricks for managing altitude and getting used to the altitude. it will take time. Like, there's no magic cure that you can just be like, oh, I did this and I was adjusted in 2 days. Like, it's gonna take time. How long that takes is kind of, it's like, it varies depending on the person. These tips I would definitely follow. They're very helpful, I think. They helped me when I moved out to Denver about 5 years ago. So I definitely recommend you guys work on these. So number 1 is drink lots and lots of water. If you watched Olivia and Joey's video on Wisdom Wednesday, they also talked about water. It's really dry in Colorado. It's an alpine desert. You're also coming in July, so it's going to be hot and dry. You're going to get dehydrated faster. So I would suggest getting a reusable water bottle, filling that up, and drinking it throughout the day. That will help you keep you hydrated throughout your time getting adjusted. Another tip I have is to get enough sleep. I know moving is really stressful and you have a ton of stuff to do, especially if you're coming out to Denver from out of state and you're moving into a new apartment and you have furniture that you brought or you have to buy. It's really stressful. Definitely try to prioritize getting enough sleep and rest. So if you are moving furniture all through the afternoon and it's hot and you're tired, give your body a break, like maybe before dinner, and then like eat dinner and then maybe do a little bit more, but definitely let yourself have that sleep. If you do get altitude sickness, being sick just in general, you need more sleep. Your body needs to rest, so definitely prioritize that when you first come out to Denver. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize, especially if you are a runner or you're a biker, is the altitude does affect that. So if you're used to running like 10 miles every day, your body is not used to doing that at altitude. So definitely start slow. Don't just jump right in and decide like, I'm gonna go run this trail that's 10 miles long. Like, give your body some time to adjust and start slow. So maybe just take a run around like City Park, which is a park here in Denver, or run around your new neighborhood, get to know that. But take it slow. Don't push yourself. It can be really easy to get altitude sickness and to start feeling really terrible because like you went too hard too fast. Another thing that can help you with adjusting to altitude is increasing your potassium intake. Potassium is found naturally in a lot of foods like bananas, spinach, yogurt, kale, avocados, and it can help you if your body's dehydrated. It helps replenish some of that nutrients. So definitely increase those foods, especially if you're moving a lot. It can really help you kind of recover faster. So I know you guys are all probably super excited to move out to Denver. It's a great city and you're probably really looking forward to all the great nature out in Denver. It's definitely awesome living so close to the mountains and having so many beautiful hikes and day hikes super close. Like I said before, start slow, especially if you're coming from sea level. It's gonna affect you. A couple of really fun day hikes that are nice and kind of, they're a little easier and they definitely can be done by people coming and getting used to the altitude. Red Rocks is an amphitheater. They have concerts usually. It's a great place to kind of hike around. You can go into it. There's a lot of trails. It's a really beautiful place. That's about 20 minutes away from Denver. You can also go to Golden. Golden is a town just outside of Denver. It's about 25 minutes away. It is beautiful. You are kind of near the foothills. They have awesome hikes, awesome day hikes. I definitely recommend Lookout Mountain. There's Mount Falcon Park. They're great. There's also North Table Mountain up there. They're both amazing. I love Golden. There's a ton of great hikes. There's a couple of really good restaurants that are down there, so definitely look into that. This one's a little farther. It's in Colorado Springs, which is about an hour and a half away. Garden of the Gods is beautiful. I love it. It's amazing. The drive down to the springs is also really beautiful. You can see Pikes Peak on your way down there, which is a pretty well-known 14er. 14er is a 14,000 foot mountain, which you can see, and you can actually drive up to Pikes Peak when it's open. So it's really beautiful. Garden of the Gods is awesome. I love it. It is a little bit more of a drive, but you can definitely kind of make a day out of it and make it really fun. So that's all I have for you guys today. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I'm really excited to all meet you in July. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me on Slack. You can reach out to Brenna for my contact information. If you have any questions for Brenna, please feel free to reach out. She's got a ton of great resources. So, hope you all have an awesome day, and I'll see you in a month and a half.